In a small village surrounded by mountains and deep forests, there lived a boy named Arav. He was only 14 years old, but his heart was older than his age. Arav was quiet, soft-spoken, and very thoughtful. People around him always misunderstood his silence. They thought he was weak, foolish, or maybe too shy to succeed in life. In school, other children made fun of him. "Why do you not talk much? Are you scared to speak? You will never become anything in life." He heard all these words, but never replied. Arav kept his feelings inside. Every time someone laughed at him, his heart broke a little. He would come home and sit under the big neem tree in his backyard, looking at the sky with teary eyes. His father was a farmer who worked very hard in the fields. He always told Arav, "Son, silence is not weakness. Silence is your strength. In the noise of the world, people forget to listen. But those who stay silent learn to listen. And listening is the first step to wisdom." Arav did not fully understand his father's words, but he trusted them. One day, a big speech competition was announced in Arav's school. The winner would receive a scholarship to study in a city school with better teachers and big opportunities. Arav wanted to take part, but when he told his classmates, they laughed. "You? A speech competition? You cannot even speak properly." He felt broken again, but this time something inside him said, "Try." He went back home and sat under the neem tree again, thinking. He closed his eyes and imagined himself on the stage. He imagined himself speaking, not loudly, but with power and truth. From that day, he started preparing in silence. Every night, when the world was asleep, Arav would stand in front of the mirror and speak. He practiced his words slowly. He corrected his pronunciation. He learned to use his silence between sentences. He read books, watched speeches of great people, and observed how they used pauses to make their words more powerful. No one knew what he was doing. There was no noise, no show-off, no attention, only silence. But in that silence, a fire was growing. The day of the speech competition arrived. The school auditorium was full. Loud students cheered, clapped, and whistled for their favorite participants. Arav stood backstage, holding his paper tightly. His heart was beating fast, but his eyes were calm. When it was his turn, there was no loud music, no show. He walked slowly to the stage. The room became silent, waiting to hear what this quiet boy would say. Arav took a deep breath, and then, in a voice steady and soft, he began, "They said I am silent. They said I cannot speak, but silence is not my weakness, it is my power. In silence, I listened. In silence, I learned. In silence, I prepared. And today, I stand here, not to make noise, but to make a difference." The hall became so quiet that even the sound of a falling pin could be heard. He continued his speech, speaking with pauses, with heart, and with deep truth. He shared how silence helped him discover his passion, his strength, and his dreams. He spoke not with loudness, but with meaning. His silence between words made his message more powerful. When he finished, there was no sound for a moment, and then, suddenly, the entire hall stood up and clapped. It was the longest standing ovation in the history of the school. Arav won the competition, but more than that, he won respect. He won hearts. He proved that you do not need to shout to be heard. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Years later, Arav became a motivational speaker. He traveled around the world, inspiring people with his story. Whenever someone asked him, "What was the secret of your success?" he always smiled and said, "Silence." It taught me more than words ever could. In this noisy world, where everyone is trying to speak louder, never be afraid of your silence. In your quiet moments, you can discover your true power. When you feel broken, sit with yourself in silence. When you are preparing, prepare in silence. Because when your moment comes, your silence will turn into a storm that no one can stop. The world may not understand you now, but do not worry. Let your silence build you. Let your silence speak through your success. Because the truth is, sometimes silence is not empty. It is full of answers.